Hey there, it's Denise, and this is video number 3 of the shoulder rescue series, shoulder rotator cuff series. All right, so far I showed you some mobilizations, some isometrics. Last video was with the TheraBand, that set of exercises. So now what I want to do is help you bring the potential of strengthening your shoulders and improving your shoulder function in your yoga class. Okay, so let's look at what needs to happen to stabilize the shoulder for poses like plank and chaturanga and down dog and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands on the wall. You can decide, maybe based on wrist crease. You want your wrist crease to line up with the front edge of your mat, basically. So I don't want to be out here. You can see how now my wrist is really diagonal. That's a weak position. And if I go in too much, I might be putting a little too much pressure on the base of the thumb joint. So that's not necessary. We just want to be able to stabilize. So this is what it's going to look like. I actually want you to express the arch of your palm. So you're going to push down into the pads of your fingers. Watch, my fingers will blanch a little bit. I'm going to press into my thumb, but I have an arch here. Now I don't want to roll off of my palm like this. I want to root down at the base of my thumb. I want to root down with my fingers, but I want to see that my finger pads are active here. And then I'm dialing my energy outward. So here's the difference. If I dial my energy outward, means I'm energizing as though I was going to do this. Watch what happens to my shoulder blade. And my elbows drop down. Can you see how I'm actively stabilizing my shoulder? Now, if I were to go in the other direction, this is what happens. So my shoulder blade actually comes off my back and my elbows go out. And now I'm in this more weak, vulnerable position. Okay, so I want to root down into my hands, energize externally, and help my shoulder blades sit stable on my back. And I need that to happen so that I have the stability I need when I go into a table pose even. So I'm rooting down, dialing it out. When I go into downward facing dog, see how that activation pattern is coming with me. If I wasn't activating that way, it would probably look more like this. But I'm activating externally, and you can see how it widens my shoulders. And I'm keeping my fingers super active and dialing it out. And then that's what I take with me as I go into upper push-up position. I'm dialing it out. And then as I go into chaturanga, I keep dialing the hands away from each other. As I go into up dog, I'm dialing my hands away from each other. But let's just say that you're not quite there yet and you need to bring the knees down and come down to little cobra. Well, here's again a great place to practice. So I'm going to press down into my hands, dial them away from each other. Look what happens to my elbows automatically. So I never have to give the cue, tuck your elbows in. I just say root down into your hands and dial them away from each other. Then as I come up, you see how my shoulders, they don't come up around my ears because my scapula is stable. So I avoid this happening by pressing into my palms, dialing my hands away from each other, and then this is what happens. All right, so then you can practice kind of staying in the tunnel. This is a great little practice. Can I keep dialing the hands away from each other and practice keeping myself in what I would call the tunnel here? So you can just practice as many of those postures as you want, but can I keep my energization the same? So there's how you can bring this into your yoga practice. This is how you're literally going to get into crane pose by dialing your hands away from each other. This creates stability so that you can bring your legs onto your body, dialing my hands away from each other, and many other arm balancing kinds of poses. That's how we get the shoulder stable. Okay, so give it a try. It's good to practice both ways, the wrong way and the better way and just see what you think. But please send me questions if you need. I think that's going to make a big difference in those poses for you. So thanks so much for joining me for this little shoulder rescue journey, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.